I'm Azaria Tagaya and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. More than 11,000 2023 SPM candidates score straight A's. And Malaysians travelling to Singapore can start using QR codes starting June 1st. Good morning. The Johor Department of Environment (DOE) is conducting checks at the site of a major fire at a paint processing factory at Johor Bahru, which will determine if some 2,000 nearby residents need to be evacuated. According to the Johor Fire and Rescue Department, this is because there were nearby factories, including an aerosol manufacturing plant, which could be dangerous to the residents due to the fire which started after 6 p.m. on Monday at the Datuk Yunus Sulaiman Industrial Park. Firemen received the distress call notifying about the fire incident at around 6:37 p.m. A total of 42 firemen from Skudai, Iskandar Puteri, Larkin and Pontian Baru fire and rescue stations have been deployed to the location. The Fire and Rescue Department deployed assets including 3 fire rescue tender vehicles, 1 water tanker and 1 rapid response vehicle to the location. Residents living nearby the factory have been urged not to be near as the fire was getting bigger. There has been an overall improvement for the 2023 Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM examinations compared to 2022. Citing it as the best results since 2013, Education Director General Azman Adnan said 11,712 of the candidates scored straight A's in all the subjects they took. Announcing the results on Monday, Azman said the national average grade GPN for 2023 is 4.60 compared to 4.74 in 2022. A lower GPN score indicates better performance.
Saya dengan ini ingin memaklumkan bahawa pada keseluruhannya pencapaian calon peperiksaan SPM tahun 2023 adalah amat membanggakan berdasarkan indeks GPN berbanding tahun-tahun yang lepas. Secara umumnya, pencapaian keseluruhan calon bertambah baik dengan nilai GPN 4.60 mata berbanding dengan 4.74 mata pada tahun 2022, iaitu perbezaan sebanyak 0.14 mata.
He said that 131,489 or 35.2% of the 373,525 candidates who sat for the 2023 SPM examinations passed, while 119,393 candidates or 32% failed at least one subject. Azman also said this year's Grade Purata Mata Pelajaran GPMP compared to 2022 shows that 66 subjects have recorded an increase in performance, 25 subjects show a decrease in performance and 4 subjects are maintained. He added the SPM 2023 performance between urban and rural areas showed improvement. However, the achievement gap between candidates remained at 0.43 points, the same as in 2022. The Prime Minister, meanwhile, congratulated students who obtained their SPM exam results on Monday. Through his social media post, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said he hoped those who obtained excellent results would continue their efforts and be ready to go into the next phase of life. And for those who did not excel, he said it was not the end, as there is still plenty of room and opportunities to create new successes. Malaysians travelling to Singapore can begin using the Quick Response or QR codes for immigration clearance at the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complexes at the Sultan Iskandar Building BSI and the Sultan Abu Bakar Complex KSAB starting June 1st. Deputy Prime Minister Fadilah Yusof said the first phase of the QR code implementation would only involve Malaysians travelling to Singapore by bus at BSI and motorcyclists using the automated M-Bike immigration clearance system at KSAB. Fadilah described the introduction of the QR codes at BSI and KSAB as a game changer in addressing congestion at both Malaysia-Singapore entry points. He said the implementation of the system will reduce the waiting time for bus commuters at BSI during peak hours from 120 minutes to 15 minutes, an 83% savings.
Dengan QR code ini maknanya semua rakyat Malaysia yang nak merentasi Singapura melalui Johor ini, dia kena download apps sama ada melalui MySejahtera sekarang inilah untuk tujuan konsep ini, dan ada lagi melalui sistem MyTrip. Dia ada kaedah, maknanya dia download dulu, kemudian bila download dia boleh menggunakan telefon saja. Bila dia lalu nanti dia mendaftar dengan menggunakan My Digital ID juga, maka dia boleh keluarkan dengan guna handphone saja untuk masuk dekat gunakan QR code tu, maknanya lebih cepat.
The DPM spoke to the media after chairing the special committee meeting to address congestion at the Johor Causeway in Johor Bahru on Monday. According to Fadila, with the implementation of the QR codes, motorcyclists at BSI would cut down their waiting time from 40 minutes to 30 minutes. As for motorcyclists at KSAB, he said their waiting time could also be reduced from 45 minutes to 30 minutes, a 23% savings with the use of the QR codes. The trial run of the first phase will take place over a 3-month period before the system is expanded to private vehicle users under the second phase, followed by Singaporeans and other nationalities. The Finance Ministry has unveiled its diesel subsidy aid program dubbed the Madani Subsidy Assistance Program, or Budi Madani, which will see RM200 given to eligible individuals as well as agriculture and commodity smallholders every month. The ministry said the initiative complements the My Subsidy Fleet Card program by the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry, which saw nearly 90,000 fleet cards distributed to date for land transport and logistics firms. In a statement, Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said an all-of-government approach is being undertaken to ensure the mechanism of targeted subsidy for diesel is comprehensive, efficient and can effectively reach the majority of the people. The Budi Madani program applies to any Malaysian with an individual or joint annual income of RM100,000 or less and who owns a diesel-based personal vehicle less than 10 years old. The vehicles must also be registered with the Road Transport Department and has an active road tax. They also cannot be luxury vehicles. Applications will be cross-referenced with data from the Inland Revenue Board to exclude luxury vehicles that are less than 10 years old and earners in the T20 income group. The ministry said the RM200 monthly aid will not extend to individuals who own diesel motorcycles, caravans, motorhomes, as well as tour vans and buses. The aid will also not apply to those who use their vehicles for e-hailing or work purposes. Meanwhile, for the Budi Agri-Commodity category, the applicants must be farmer smallholders registered with the relevant agencies under the Agriculture and Food Security Ministry as well as the Plantation and Commodities Ministry to qualify for the RM200 monthly aid. Under the Budi Agri-Commodity program, applicants must also generate an annual turnover of between RM50,000 and RM300,000. Applications for the programs will be open throughout the year and may be made through the Budi Madani website. Eligible applicants who apply by June 3rd and are approved for the cash assistance will receive their first cash aid by mid-June and on a monthly basis thereafter. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim announced an additional allocation of RM1 million for Tabung Kasih Hawana for next year. The Prime Minister delivered the good news at the highlight of the National Journalists' Day Hawana 2024 celebration in Kuching, Sarawak on Monday.
Pertama, kita minta supaya bantu selaraskan beberapa kegiatan dan ada sekarang di pusat latihan kecemerlangan pertama supaya menambah kursus latihan terutama dalam bidang teknologi AI untuk pengamal media. Kita luluskan jumlah RM1 juta tadi.
Also present was Sarawak Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. Tabung Kasih Hawana was established in conjunction with the Hawana 2023 celebration to support journalists and media personnel, both active and retired, who are ill or in need of assistance. Meanwhile, in his social media posting, Anwar stressed that the government's support will ensure that foreign investments will proceed smoothly and start operations according to schedule. He said the presence of strong investors such as Mubadala Energy, an international energy company headquartered in Abu Dhabi with investments in 7 countries including Malaysia, is aligned with the government's efforts in implementing the National Energy Transition Roadmap (NETR). Anwar said Malaysia welcomes the investment planning, which is also linked to the high-impact renewable energy projects. The Prime Minister received a courtesy visit from Mubadala Energy Chief Executive Officer Sheikh Mansur Muhammad Al-Hamid at his office in Putrajaya on Monday. Anwar said Mubadala Energy is now active in renewable energy initiatives and decarbonation through investment in value chain development, such as blue hydrogen and carbon capture, utilisation and storage. He added that during the meeting he was informed on the focus and progress of implementation of Mubadala Energy's investments in Malaysia. Police need more time to thoroughly investigate the family members of the Ulu Tiram police station intruder. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the arrest of the suspect's 5 family members under the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2012 SOSMA was relevant because killing members of the security forces and threatening the safety of the people is a serious offence.
Pihak polis memerlukan tempoh yang lebih lama untuk menyempurnakan siasatan bagi mitigate isu keselamatan ini supaya keselamatan rakyat, keamanan yang memberi kesan kepada kehidupan rakyat. Apalagi ketika Singapura memberikan reaksi mengetatkan lagi.
The Minister spoke to the media after attending the special committee meeting to tackle congestion at the Johor Causeway in Johor Bahru on Monday. On Friday, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said that the 5 individuals were held under SOSMA after their remand period ended on May 24th. Initially, 7 individuals, including the suspect's 5 family members aged between 19 and 62, were detained to assist in the investigation under the Penal Code. However, 2 students from higher learning institutions were released unconditionally last Wednesday. On May 17th at 2:30 a.m, Constable Ahmad Azhar Fahmi Azhar, 22, and Constable Muhammad Shafiq Ahmad Said, 24, were killed, and the 21-year-old suspect was shot to death. The attack also injured another policeman, Corporal Muhammad Hasif Roslan, 38, who was shot in the shoulder and hip. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has so far seen no connection in the awarding of the Demand Responsive Transit DRT pilot project contract by the Selangor government with Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki said so far there was no wrongdoing according to the law following the award of the contract to Yeoh's husband.
Saya tak tahu kes apa. Tetapi kalau sekiranya seseorang itu mendapat kontrak ke ataupun apa-apa benefit daripada mana-mana entiti kerajaan, tetapi yang mendapat itu tidak ada kena-mengena dengan tugas dan tanggungjawabnya, ia bukan satu kesalahan. Jadi kalau katakan contoh ini, saya ada baca dalam media report lah. Suami dapat kontrak dengan kerajaan di Selangor, Hannah Yeoh kerja apa sebagai menteri? Beliau dah sukan. Jadi saya nampak tidak ada kaitan kerajaan di Selangor dengan Kementerian Belia Sukan, melainkan kalau Kementerian Belia Sukan itu memberi projek kepada suami Hannah Yeoh.
The anti-graft body chief spoke to the media after the Malaysian Electricity Asset Management and Governance Coordination Improvement Report signing ceremony in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. Last week, Selangor Investment Trade and Mobility Committee Chairman Eng Zihan stated that Asia Mobility Technologies Sendirian Berhad was one of the 2 companies selected for the DRT pilot project. The company's Chief Executive Officer, Ramachandran Muniandi, is Yeoh's husband. DRT is a state government initiative to improve the effectiveness of public transport and mobility services in Selangor. Thunderstorms in the Klang Valley on Monday evening led to more trees being uprooted and damaging vehicles. Kuala Lumpur City Hall reported that a large tree fell in front of the Ambank branch in Jalan Puchong heading towards Jalan Kelang Lama, covering several vehicles parked at the shop lots. Several images and video recordings depicting heavy rain and strong winds along with the fallen trees had been widely shared on social media earlier on Monday. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations Ahmad Mukhlis Mokhtar said the department received a call regarding the incident at 4:24 p.m. A team of 9 personnel along with a fire rescue tender and an Emergency Medical Rescue Services EMRS vehicle from the Puchong Fire Station was dispatched to the location for rescue work and to remove the tree. Upon arrival at the scene, it was discovered that a total of 7 vehicles had suffered damages. No injuries or casualties were reported as no victims were inside the vehicles when the mishap occurred. We're going for a short break. When we return, more than a dozen killed as Cyclone Remal snaps power links to millions in India and Bangladesh. The foreign news now. A Thai court on Monday sentenced a lawmaker from opposition Move Forward Party MFP to 2 years in prison after finding her guilty of defaming the monarchy in a speech she made during a protest rally 3 years ago. MFP's Chonticha Jangru was found guilty for parts of the speech concerning how the government then led by Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-o-cha had amended laws to give King Vajiralongkorn more power to control the palace wealth, which is managed by the Crown Property Bureau. The judge said her speech could misinform the public by suggesting that the king can spend taxpayers' money for his personal use and use his influence to interfere with politics. Chonticha was released on bail of $4,100 and said she will appeal. Had bail not been granted and she been sent directly to prison, she would have immediately been removed from her seat in Parliament. The Zionist regime have bombed a tent camp housing displaced people in a designated safe zone in Rafah, killing at least 45 Palestinians, including women and children. The strike took place at the Tel Al-Sultan neighborhood in western Rafah late Sunday, where thousands of people were taking shelter after many fled the eastern areas of the city. Following the attack, the International Committee of the Red Cross said its field hospital in Rafah was receiving an influx of casualties and that other hospitals also were taking in a large number of patients. The strike drew condemnation from world leaders, with Qatar warning that it could hinder efforts to reach a ceasefire deal. In separate attacks, the Zionist forces have also bombed shelters housing displaced Palestinians in other areas, including Jabalia, Nusairat and Gaza City, killing at least 160 others in the past 24 hours. Strong gales and heavy rain brought by Cyclone Remal lashed the coastlines of India and Bangladesh on Monday, with the storm killing at least 16 people and cutting electricity supply to millions before losing intensity. Packing speeds of up to 135 kilometers per hour, weather officials said it crossed the area around Bangladesh's southern port of Mongla and the adjoining Sagar Islands in India's West Bengal state on Sunday, making landfall at about 9 p.m. local time. Authorities said at least 10 people lost their lives in Bangladesh, while 4 people died in India's West Bengal due to electrocution, taking the death toll in the state to 6. It was reported that nearly 3 million people in Bangladesh were without electricity and at least 1,200 power poles were uprooted in West Bengal. The cyclone is the first this year of the frequent storms that have pounded the low-lying coasts of the South Asian neighbours in recent years as climate change drives up surface temperatures at sea. Over in the U.S., at least 19 people, including 4 children, were killed as tornadoes and extreme storms tore across 4 states, destroying homes with forecasters warning of more severe weather. According to officials, 7 people were killed in northern Texas, 8 in Arkansas, 2 in Oklahoma and 2 in Kentucky. The extreme weather also left scores more injured in winds reaching 217 kilometers per hour, and almost 500,000 were left without electricity across several states. The country's National Weather Service, however, said by Sunday afternoon the storm system had begun moving east, but still warned of severe wind and hail for those in its path. The latest twisters follow another powerful tornado which tore through a rural Iowa town and killed 4 people earlier in May. Zina and Wawrinka cruise into French Open second round. Sports when we come back. Nightline continues. Senior citizens lost 552.5 million ringgit to online scams between 2021 and 2023. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID Director Datuk Sri Ramli Yusof said this involved 5,533 victims, or 6.4% of the 86,266 online scam victims recorded during the period, with overall losses amounting to 2.7 billion ringgit.
Kelompok warga emas mencatatkan jumlah kerugian yang tertinggi berbanding lain-lain kategori umur. Ini secara naturalnya, kelompok warga emas ni dia ada simpanan sedikit dan sebagainya, mudah menjadi mangsa kepada scammers di luar sana. Dan kebetulan juga kelompok warga emas ini adalah law-abiding citizen, orang lain pun begitu juga, tetapi mudah dipertakutkan oleh scammers ini.
Although the number of elderly victims was lower compared to other age groups, he said the losses they incurred were significantly higher. Ramli said telecommunication fraud could be prevented if victims were more aware and vigilant of such crimes. Therefore, Ramli urged that information about commercial crimes, especially the modus operandi of online scams, be communicated to senior citizens, particularly by family members, friends, neighbours and others. In Pulau Pinang, an assortment of drugs worth 4.6 million ringgit and 6 pistols with 100 rounds of ammunition have been seized following the arrest of a man in Sungai Ara. Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department NCID Director Datuk Kao Kok Chin said the 38-year-old man was arrested at a house on Friday. Kao said the narcotics team raided an apartment in Batu Uban the next day. In the house and apartment, which was used as a drug laboratory and store, police also discovered 34.14 kilograms of heroin base, 13.84 kilograms of heroin, 46.19 kilograms of shabu and 11 kilograms of caffeine.
Pasukan serbuan daripada JSJN Bukit Aman juga berjaya menjumpai 6 pucuk pistol dengan 100 butir peluru hidup dalam sebuah beg warna hitam di dalam amari, dan juga berjayalah 8 pucuk pistol itu ada termasuklah pelbagai jenis Smith & Wesson, Walter, Glock.
He said police are trying to determine if the pistols were used in any criminal cases reported in the country recently. Police also seized various vehicles worth 424,000 ringgit. Kao also revealed that the man is suspected to have operated alone, but the police believe he has accomplices who assist in processing and distributing drugs, and efforts to track down the syndicate's network are actively underway. The unemployed man is being remanded until June 1st to facilitate the probe. Before we conclude this edition of Nightline, let's take a look as the UAE achieves a world record for the largest solar power light bulb display, made up of 3,000 student-made lanterns that will then be distributed to households in the Philippines without electricity. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.